Dustin seems too early to start, but I know it's not for you guys. What's it like, and where do you begin? Let's start with that.
Well, it is always early this part of the United States, but we're actually starting a week later than we have in the past 5 years, and that was part of just the scheduling, and really it's paid off. I feel like we're more prepared going into this next weekend than we've ever been going into the first weekend. It's a better feeling going into Oklahoma, where they will have already played games, and you know, we really have had pretty cooperative weather up until this week, and it doesn't look like we'll be outside again before we play. So that's a little bit of a downside to February weather in Kansas City, but I think we're to a point where we can just maintain this week. We should be sharp going into this weekend.
You had such a great year last year, and unfortunately, because of the first year in the GLVC, couldn't qualify for the tournament. But how do you build on that, especially losing your key pitchers?
Right. Well, I think the best thing we got out of that is the confidence and the knowledge of what it's like to compete in the GLVC. We did know that it was going to be a challenge, and you know, at the end of the year, we had put ourselves in a really good situation. And the west side of our conference is, you know, there's a lot of parity. And there was, you know, several teams right there at the end, towards the, you know, 1 through 5. You know, we did lose a lot. We lost a lot of pitching, but we lost a lot of key players in the lineup altogether. 5 seniors that had meant a lot to this program, and but, you know, they kind of had left a foundation and helped prepare this group of what I would consider a young team, just 1 senior, but with a lot of experience.
Well, let's go ahead and go through that. Start in the circle. Who are you really counting on there?
Well, you know, this will be a year that we count on all 4 of them. We feel like we can utilize our staff, and if we do that effectively, which is pretty much up to me to determine how we can utilize each pitcher effectively, all 4 of them could have great years for us. Rachel Hayden, a junior who's you know, started several games for us over the past 2 years, and we didn't have to use her as much last year as a sophomore, basically due to some injuries that we were trying to prevent. She means so much to us in the offensive lineup that we couldn't afford to take the chance that she wouldn't be in the 3-hole every day for us. So we look for really good things out of Rachel. She's developed, you know, all of her pitches. She's a junior. She's got leadership. She's a captain. You know, she's gained some composure, and we're going to expect a lot from Rachel this year. Another sophomore that's been in the program, Faith Song, who from Claremont, California, who we've put a lot on Faith's back. You know, she again, as a sophomore, seems to be a veteran. She was voted as a captain this year by the team, and I think that's a testament to what the girls in the program think of Faith and her work ethic. We didn't use her a lot in the circle last year, but we know we can get a lot of good innings from her this year, and she's another girl who offensively means a lot to our lineup. So we'll find places for her, and in the circle will be one of those places we'll utilize her. Right. Corinne Fry, who is about 4 months off of ACL surgery. Our real goal at one point was to have her back in the season. Then with her work in her rehab, we started looking at maybe mid-March, and we are now looking at maybe getting her innings this weekend. Wow. We're not going to push it. We're not in a, you know, we don't need her in February. We need her in May, and but her work ethic has just paid off, and she's a junior college All-American, so you know, she's used to being in the circle. She's a pitcher only. Kaylee Barrett from Kansas, also she's a freshman, and has really this spring really started finding herself, and we expect great things out of Kaylee. A very different pitcher from the other 4, so again, complements our staff well, and it's up to myself to figure out how to utilize them.
How about catcher? You lost your catcher last year, had to replace her. Talk about that search and who might end up behind the dish.
Well, we had a very good catcher in our program already. Lexi Rosmus, now our lone senior and captain, had caught a lot of innings in junior college, and you know, she was stepped right up to the challenge. She has worked really hard behind the plate, and again, a girl that our team looks up to as a leader and kind of the mom of the program, and being the lone senior has that responsibility. She's done a really good job this spring and fall for us, and we know that we can get great innings from her. Kelsey tonight from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, a sophomore who, again, gives us a very good option behind the plate. And really going into this weekend, there's a lot of spots still that we have not decided. Erin Kramer, a freshman from Los Angeles, has developed a lot as a freshman. She's getting stronger, which is the biggest goal for our freshmen, is to learn how to use the weight room and believe in the philosophy, and she is a very good defensive catcher and is really starting to show that she can hit.
Okay. Around the infield and outfield, some people we might hear about through the spring?
Well, another big replacement that we had to find at third base for Taylor Brown, who was a 4-year starter. Megan Rister from Iowa Central Junior College came in, and that's who we felt like could give us the leadership and kind of keep moving without taking a step back. And she's really taken on that challenge. Very strong defensively, had great numbers offensively in junior college. Courtney Johnson, and I could talk about Courtney at every position in the infield. She also give us will compete at third base. She's also, because of injury this year, we've moved her over to shortstop. Courtney's basically was a second baseman coming in, but took to our philosophy defensively, got strong. She is the example of someone who worked hard and it's paid off like it's supposed to. Eileen Greenwood, who is our returning starter at shortstop, coming off of a shoulder surgery, and we're starting to see Eileen get strength in her shoulder. Second base, Brittany Matson from Iowa Central, another junior college transfer, coming off of a All-American second team selection as a sophomore. Gives us some power in the lineup. Look to see her somewhere in the 4, 5, 6 spot in the lineup, so it gives us some pop, and very strong defensively as well. Megan Kapler, another sophomore from Evansville, competes really hard at second base as well. Has a very different look to herself. She's a slapper, gives us the speed. So again, very different from who she's competing against. At first base, Alexi Rosmus, Kelsey tonight, Kaylee Barrett, who I've all three spoke of, and Rachel Hayden has moved into the infield.
You talked about the outfield. Let's go through some of the people that we might see there.
Sure. We've had a fun little fall and spring now with the competition in the outfield, particularly in center field, with Ashley Barrett from Reno, Nevada, Rachel Potvin from Topeka, Kansas, and then our newest addition, Annalie Dolman from South Australia, Adelaide, South Australia.
Yeah, that's an interesting story.
Yeah, and they take ball after ball in the outfield, and Coach Bauer and myself look at each other and just shake our head and it's like, pick one. We can put any three of those in center field. So it gives us that very, very possibility of having three center fielders on the field at the same time. And maybe a little of the reason why I looked at Rachel Hayden as moving into the infield, because she's a three-hole hitter. She's going to be in the lineup, and so the competition in the outfield's been really fun. We also have a freshman, Morgan Olson from Omaha, Nebraska, and she is another freshman who's really worked hard in the weight room, really understanding the game, and has really competed really hard in the outfield for us. Also, Erin Kramer can play in the outfield when needed, and Faith Song again, someone who we probably looking to be a right fielder most of her starts when not pitching.
Tell us where you open again, and tell us more importantly when you're coming home to open your season at home.
We are opening our season at Northeastern State University. We'll compete against NSU, actually my alma mater. Mm-hmm. So it'll be the first time I've actually been back since graduation, and looking forward to being back in Oklahoma and obviously just getting started with this season.
Sure.
We'll play a triangular both Saturday and Sunday with Bacone, a 4-year NAIA out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, so about 30 minutes down the road. They'll come over and we'll play a doubleheader both days, triangular with the two of them. The following weekend we go to Conway, Arkansas for a 2-day tournament, and then we get back on the road the third weekend of the season to Indianapolis and St. Joseph before coming home March 12th. Midweek, I believe that's a Tuesday, against Southwest Baptist.